In the frost-kissed dawn of a Tuesday in Franklin, Ohio, Martha Coleman stepped into the glass doors of Franklin First Bank. At 73, her mahogany skin bore the lines of a life well lived, her purple sweater frayed at the elbows. She clutched a crisp envelope, her retirement check inside, and moved with the quiet dignity of someone who'd faced the world's indifference before. The bank's polished floors gleamed under fluorescent lights, reflecting a sterile calm. Martha's orthopedic shoes barely whispered as she approached the counter, where a young teller, Emily Harris, sat. Blonde, brisk, and barely 26. Emily's eyes flicked from Martha's gray wool hat to the envelope, her lips tightening. "Good morning," Martha said, her voice warm but raspy. Emily didn't smile. "What can I help you with?" she asked, her tone clipped, as if Martha's presence was an inconvenience. "I'd like to deposit this check," Martha replied, sliding the envelope forward. Emily's gaze lingered on it, then darted to Martha's face. "ID, please," she said, not as a request but a challenge. Martha produced her driver's license and social security card, placing them carefully on the counter. Emily barely glanced at them. "You sure you're the account holder?" she asked, her voice smooth but edged with suspicion. Martha's mouth twitched, but she nodded. "Yes." Emily tapped her keyboard, her eyes locking on the screen. "We'll need to verify this." "The amount's substantial," she said, her words not an explanation but an accusation. A man in line behind Martha, mid-50s, in a flannel shirt, chuckled softly. "Folks like her don't usually walk in with that kind of cash," he muttered, loud enough for ears to catch but not enough to demand a response. No one spoke up. Martha stood still, her fingers finding a pill bottle in her coat pocket. She swallowed a tablet with practiced calm, her silence louder than any protest. The air thickened with tension. Emily handed Martha a form, unnecessary but mandatory for senior clients with large deposits, as if age and wealth couldn't coexist. Martha signed it slowly, her handwriting deliberate, born of signing marriage licenses and deployment consents. "We'll hold the deposit for verification," Emily said, her tone final. Martha nodded, producing a pension notice as proof, though she knew it wasn't needed. She'd come prepared for doubt. As Martha turned to leave, the bank doors swung open, harsh and sudden. Two officers, James Carter and Michael Reed, stormed in, their presence heavy with authority. Without a word, Carter yanked Martha's handbag from her shoulder, sending its contents receipts, a pill bottle, a faded photo of her son in military uniform scattering across the tile. Reed snorted, picking up the photo. "Looks like some wannabe rapper," he sneered, smudging its corner. Martha didn't flinch. She knelt, gathering her belongings with steady hands. Blood trickling from her lip after Carter's casual shove sent her into a desk. The room watched in silence. Emily typed furiously, the flannel shirt man stared at the floor, and a young couple edged toward the exit. No one helped. Carter's boot rested on Martha's ID, daring her to reach for it. "Go on, pick it up," he taunted. Martha moved closer, nudging his boot aside without touching him, retrieving her ID with quiet defiance. "If you weren't hiding something, you wouldn't act so nervous," he said, smirking. Martha rose, her back crackling but her composure unbroken. Her silence wasn't fear, it was steel. The officers marched her to a cruiser outside, the winter wind biting her cheeks. Inside, the air was stale, the vinyl seat sticking to her coat. Carter chuckled. All this drama over some papers and a fake story. Martha's voice cut through, calm but firm. "Let me call my son." Reed laughed, handing her the phone with mock generosity. "What? Need him to fetch your meds?" Martha dialed, her cuffed hand steady. The call connected. "John," she said, "they've taken me. I'm all right. Don't get angry. Just know." The line went silent, but the weight of her words hung like a storm cloud. At the precinct, Martha sat on a holding bench, cuffs biting her wrists. The officers filed her as suspicious, uncooperative, with no mention of her bruised ribs or stolen photo. Then, the atmosphere shifted. A young officer burst in, pale. "The lieutenant wants you both." Now, Carter and Reed exchanged glances, disappearing down the hall. Martha waited, her spine unbowed, her eyes fixed on a clock. Miles away, in a Pentagon briefing room, John Marshall, a decorated green beret, stood at a steel table. Generals and analysts flanked him, but his phone's single word mom stopped the room. He didn't explain. He walked out, his voice already issuing orders. Get me every camera angle from Franklin First Bank. Uncut. Now. His aide hesitated. Protocol, sir? John's gaze was ice. Use my name. Within hours, footage flooded secure servers' lobby cams, body cams, and a leaked smartphone video. John watched his mother's humiliation. The yank, the fall, the blood. His jaw didn't tighten. His eyes flickered once. Mirror this to DOJ and CNN, he said. Timestamps visible. The room moved without question. By dawn, screens across America bus stops, diners, schools played the truth. Martha's dignity trampled, her silence louder than any scream. Franklin's police department unraveled. Servers locked, files vanished, replaced by federal oversight. Officers scrambled, their casual memos now indictments. The chief, Robert Hayes, bellowed, "Who authorized this?" No one knew. At 3 a.m., a black van outside the bank transferred its data to federal clouds, silent as a ghost. The city's $20 million security grant froze, a presidential pen stroke signaling judgment. Carter and Reed faced a director's summons. You stepped on her ID after she bled, Director Gerald Klein said, sliding a photo of John, Medal of Honor gleaming. Her son, Carter stammered, I didn't know. Klein's voice was a blade. You're paid to know. They surrendered their badges, not with grace but defeat. You're throwing us to the wolves, Carter spat. Klein didn't blink. You handed them the knife. Emily Harris faced a public hearing. Martha sat across from her, her burgundy coat absorbing the room's light. You didn't look at my forms, Martha said. You looked at me with contempt. Emily's rehearsed apology crumbled. I didn't mean it, she sobbed. Martha's voice was steady. Say sorry to the next black child at your counter, the mother you judge. You owe them. The room exhaled, transformed. Chief Hayes resigned. His neutrality was his downfall. I wasn't there, he claimed. A colleague's retort stung. You could have changed it. You didn't. His signature on a pre-drafted letter ended his reign, the public's headline brutal. He stood for nothing when it mattered. Martha's bruises faded, but her hospital visit revealed deeper scars. It hurts less than the eyes of black children watching that video, she told the doctor. They're not surprised, just familiar. I won't let them get comfortable with this. John, outside, bowed his head, not in salute but reverence, honoring the woman who'd raised him to fight with truth, not fists. A Louisiana university renamed its auditorium Martha Coleman Hall, its plaque reading, Justice needs no gun. Students stood, not cheering but bearing witness, as Martha spoke. If honor has a price, those who made me bow should now bow to what's right. The silence roared. John testified before Congress, his words a doctrine. My mother isn't emotional. She's evidence. Clips of his testimony dominated, viewed 300 million times, not for drama but clarity. A documentary, The Mother Without a Flag, traced Martha's life, ending with her reading a child's letter. You taught me I don't have to be small. She wept, not for pain but for being seen. John whispered, You won, Mom, not because I'm a soldier, but because you're a mother. The White House offered the Medal of Civil Honor. John's refusal was a letter, printed on the Washington Post's front page. Give your medals to the next mother forced to kneel. My mother needs a country where she's human. Martha asked if she regretted declining Sasmold. My son is my highest honor. In Franklin schools, students wrote to Martha. 1. Malix, read, America needs you to remind it what humanity looks like. At the Capitol, a black and white photo of Martha clutching her pills, unbowed hung, slowing senators' steps. A boy 7 asked, Who is she? His father whispered, Someone this country owes a bow to. Martha didn't seek the spotlight. She sat by her garden, a photo of John at 6 beside her, and knew her silence had reshaped a nation. Franklin rebuilt new training, new leaders, trust earned, not assumed. The system didn't just balance, it rewrote its books. Share your thoughts. What does Martha's story stir in you? Have you witnessed or experienced injustice that silence enabled? Should justice be loud or quiet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's debate the cost of inaction and the power of standing up. Your voice matters.